Hello, it's Mr. Moeller for lesson 3-4, solving two-step or multi-step inequalities. So again, this is going to be pretty much the same as lesson 2-4, except now it's the inequality version of it. So still going to do add, subtract, multiply, divide, again, whatever the opposite is, to figure out what my variable is. Okay, except this time we're not figuring out what the variable is, but we're figuring out what it's less than or greater than, or all that fun stuff. Okay, so again, we're going to undo addition with subtraction, undo multiplication with division, okay, and then vice versa. We're going to have to graph our solutions this time, so solve for the variable. Since we're graphing, you do have a little bit less for homework then, since it will take you a little longer. So on a problem like this, it says 7k plus 8 is less than or equal to negative 20. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both. Let's see if I can write that better. Subtract 8 from both sides. Okay, so subtract 8, subtract 8. Remember to use our calculators here so we're not making any silly mistakes. So I end up with 7k is less than or equal to negative 28. Okay, so first step, subtract, just like last chapter. I'm going to divide, since it says 7 times k, divide both sides by 7. Divide both sides by 7. I'm dividing by a positive 7, so nothing needs to get flipped or flopped or anything. So k is less than or equal to negative 4. And then we're going to graph that just like normal. I'm not going to go through that in the video since we did this for the first 3 sections. Okay, so pretty much the same as chapter 2, except for the sign. Okay, here I have 45 plus 2b equals 61. It is a positive 45. So I am subtracting 45. Subtracting 45 from this side. Again, if you'd like to draw that line down the middle so we kind of know what we're talking about when I say left side or right side, that's what I'm talking about. There's still a left side, there's still a right side, even though there's an inequality. So I have 2b is greater than 16. I end up dividing both sides by 2. And I end up with b is greater than 8. Okay, we will get into some more difficult stuff here, like with problems like this. Okay, so remember, when I distribute, I am distributing to both the 2 and the negative x. When we do this problem in class, I will ask you, which one are we distributing? And the answer is both. We are distributing. We are being fair. They're going to both. So negative 2 times 2 is a negative, or negative 4 times 2, sorry, is 2. So that's going to give me a negative 8. And then negative 4 times the negative x is a positive 4x. And then less than or equal to 8. And then I'm going to end up doing the same thing we did for the other problem. So plus 8 to both sides. 4x is less than or equal to 16. Divide both sides by 4 since it says 4 times. And we're going to end up with x is less than or equal to 4. So all that stuff stays the same. Division problem, let's do this one since we really don't see these too often. So again, this says divide by 3. So I'm going to multiply by 3. Multiply by 3. So I have 1 minus 2n is greater than or equal to 21. Alright, and then it would be the same process. This is the one counter example where you would not add or subtract first. One kind of problem that you won't add or subtract. All these other ones, add or subtract first, add or subtract first, add or subtract first after you distribute. This is the one kind of problem when you have that divided by that you're not going to add or subtract first. Okay, and then the other thing I want to point out, and it will be with this one, so we're going to keep doing this one, is what happens when we divide by a negative. So we have a plus 1, so let's minus 1 from both sides. So remember, let's do negative 2n is greater than or equal to 20. And then divide both sides by negative 2. So if I end up dividing by a negative, my sign is going to get flipped. Remember, if you multiply or divide by a negative, that sign gets flipped. It was a greater than sign. Now it is a less than sign. 20 divided by -2 is -10. That rule still applies even though we're in a different section. If you multiply or divide by a negative, the sign gets flipped. Okay, we will have to write some inequalities. You guys have been really good with that so far, so it should not be an issue for this section.